welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. We have a lot of juicy tea to get through today, so sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So now that Harry's book Spare has dropped, and everyone's mouth is aghast because seriously, I can't believe half the stories he actually publicized in his book, and quite frankly, he's beginning to look like a royal knob. I mean, we all knew he was one, but boy, did he prove us correct on a lot of things that we weren't sure about. Now we are 100% sure you are a royal knob. Now, the interesting thing, of course, is that Harry and Meghan are demanding apologies from the royal family. And in the beginning, before the book drop, I was a person who was like, you know, the royal family really needs to reach out to them, just try to squash it so they'll stop running their mouth and trashing the family in the press. Just, shut it down. But now that he's released his book and he's done more interviews, it's like there really is no hope, in my opinion, for a reconciliation. You cannot compromise with people who are delusional. You cannot compromise with people who are arrogant and narcissistic, who like to do the hug punch. You can't reconcile with people who continue to hurt you. When you go to apologize and make up with someone, that's like calling a truce on all sides, saying, okay, let's make up, let's reconcile, let's apologize, let's start over. But Harry and Meghan, there is no fresh start. There is no truce. Harry and Meghan are unforgivable, and you will be unforgiven unless you do exactly what they want you to do and do everything according to their terms. Jeremy Clarkson, a perfect example. The man made a mistake. I don't agree with the statement that he put out. I thought it was in bad taste. However, it was a reference to Game of Thrones. A lot of people got the joke. A lot of people didn't. But the man apologized publicly, and it has just come out that he has now apologized privately to the Sussexes. He wrote them a private email on Christmas Day, and it still wasn't good enough. So this proves to me how ungracious and unkind Harry and Meghan really are. That these two, even when you apologize, you're still unforgiven. It's like it's never going to be enough for Harry and Meghan. And that is why it is so dangerous to put yourself in a situation where you're pretty much groveling to the will of unkind, unbending, narcissistic, delusional people. You have to get to a point with people where you have to say, you know what? I've apologized. I've said my piece. If it's not good enough for you, then I wish you the best, but I'm out. Peace out. I've had to go no contact with a few people in my life because you realize you can't deal with crazy. You can't argue with stupid, because it's going to be an unwinnable situation where the person never sees what they do is wrong, and they keep attacking you, but they want you to apologize to them while they're attacking you. That's crazy. You cannot compromise with crazy. So Harry and Meghan released a statement in regards to the private apology that Jeremy Clarkson emailed to them on Christmas Day. Their statement said, quote, while a new public apology has been issued today by Mr. Clarkson, what remains to be addressed is his long-standing pattern of writing articles that spread hate rhetoric, dangerous conspiracy theories, and misogyny. Unless each of his other pieces were also written in a hurry, as he states, it is clear that this is not an isolated incident shared in haste, but rather a series of articles shared in hate. So again, to the Sussexes, unless he sits there and apologizes for everything he's ever done, everything he's ever written, and concedes to the thought process and shares the same opinions of the Sussexes, they're not going to accept his apology. So if the royal family thinks that just issuing an apology is going to make them happy, they're going to find out they're sorely mistaken. And that is why they need to go full no contact, because you cannot reason with these people. The fact that they haven't forgiven Thomas Markle. This poor man has apologized and begged for forgiveness for almost 5 years. May will be 5 years since the Sussexes have been married. This poor man has been cut off. He has not seen his grandchildren, which is very sad. And in Meghan's interview, I believe with Variety, she talked about she wasn't ready to forgive him. It's been 5 years. The man sold photographs of himself. He didn't even say anything bad about you and Harry. He sold photos of himself. Now, granted, he went on TV. He did some bad interviews. But you have the nerve to sit in your glass castle of hypocrisy and judge him and say you were unforgiven. You have the nerve to say to Jeremy Clarkson, who has issued you 2 apologies, you, sir, are unforgiven. And now you're demanding an apology from the royal family. But we all know that apology isn't going to be good enough. They're going to want the royal family to publicly announce they were wrong, to change rules within the royal institution, to pretty much have the press never write anything negative about Meghan ever again, to shut down free speech, and to pretty much welcome Harry and Meghan back into the royal fold as part-time working royals who can become the queen and king of the Commonwealth, because this is pretty much what they want. And anything less than that will be unforgivable and unforgiven in the eyes of Harry and Meghan. They are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And you cannot work with crazy. I'm sorry. You're not going to win. It's not going to be good enough. They're always going to have something wrong that you've done, and you're going to have to grovel and continually make up to them. I've dealt with people like that, and you have to cut your losses. You know what I mean? Especially the fact that he's so delusional, he has no idea why he needs to apologize for anything. He literally said to people, please tell me what I've done wrong, why I need to apologize. I'm the victim here. You know, the old hug, punch, hug, punch. You can't make amends and call truce with someone who's continually attacking you, but then asking you to apologize while they're attacking you. It doesn't work. You can't have one person waving the flag and the other person, launching an attack. So the royal family, in my opinion, is handling it correctly by ignoring them. But I really hope that they do not invite them to the coronation and that they just go cold, no contact. Harry is so delusional that he gave an interview with the Telegraph magazine where he said something to the effect of, you know what you did and I know why you did it and you've been caught out, so just come clean. Woo, Lord. He is so scarily delusional. So he's demanding that the royal family apologize to Meghan and that the family was treating him like he was, quote, delusional and paranoid. Well, I'm sorry, Harry, but considering the fact you've admitted to heavy drug use and having a little bit of a hard time remembering dates and actual facts, I would have to say I'm going to agree with the royal family on you being delusional and paranoid. Harry, in his interview with the Telegraph, said, this whole thing was avoidable, but they couldn't help themselves, right? The Duke of Sussex added that he could not understand why it seemed shocking and outrageous for him to tell what he said was the truthful side of the story. I don't know about that one, Harry. He also claimed he felt a responsibility to reform the monarchy in the interest of his 2 young children. He also described how therapy had helped him. Yeah, I think I would get my money back on that one, Harry. I don't think they quite helped you. But he said he was unable to get through to his family to agree with him. He was unable to make people see that he was right, that we all need to conform to his and Meghan's point of view. Do you see what I'm saying? He's not going to accept any apology until you grovel and say, we're wrong, you're right. Let's just give you the keys to the castle, Harry. Let's just make you king, let you run everything because apparently we're stupid and you and Meghan know what's best. He also said, that's when I started trying to explain to them how some of their decisions and some of the things they were doing or not doing was going to reflect on them badly. Oh, Harry, you know, what would the royal family and the institution do without you mansplaining it to them? Oh, Harry, please do tell your expertise of being the spoiled, pampered spare who knows how to run the monarchy. Please mansplain it to us, Harry. We're all waiting. And then he says, especially across the global stage, especially across the Commonwealth, with relation to my now wife. He's literally sounding like Meghan, my now wife. And I couldn't get through to them. You mean they didn't want to listen to your BS ramblings? And it wasn't one or two people that I was trying to get through to. I think everyone got the memo that you were delusional and they pretty much ignored you. It was the mindset. It was culture within a bubble within a bubble. Are we talking about you doing mushrooms again, Harry? Or are we talking about the royal institution? That while I was there, it was unbreakable. Harry has now claimed the royals scuppered the whole plan through their need to financially control us, the jealousy, and this unfortunate situation whereby just existing outside of their control is somehow problematic for them. Okay, so this tells you what his mindset is he's so convinced that everyone's trying to control him. They're trying to, put them down because everyone is so jealous of them and everything is their fault. It didn't have to be this way, but look what you made me do. The old abusive rhetoric that he's spewing once again. He then says, the very people who were supposed to protect us were complicit in all the stories that were literally destroying my wife in front of my very eyes, to the point that I was coming back from London to Frogmore after Archie was born, and I would walk into the nursery and see she was in floods of tears dripping on Archie while she was breastfeeding him. Were these the tears coming out of her left eye, Harry? Was it more than just the little tear? Was it the left eye? I think it was. Now Harry has claimed that there are many details he has chosen not to share because I just don't want the world to know. Unless you're getting another paycheck, huh, Harry? And he added his family might not ever forgive him if he ever does so. Okay, well, I think you're almost there, son. I think you're almost unforgiven. Now, Harry, of course, is challenging the royal family to apologize to Meghan for their actions. He said, quote, I wish you'd actually sit down with me properly, and instead of saying I'm delusional and paranoid, actually sit down and have a proper conversation about this. Because what I really like is some accountability and an apology to my wife. He wants accountability from a man who's had a get-out-of-jail card his entire life and blamed others for his poor decisions and actions. But now he wants them to be accountable. Boy, is that the pot calling the kettle black? Are you looking in a mirror, son? Accountability and you are never in the same sentence. This is seriously delusional. So he also talks about how his brother William thinks that the therapy is brainwashing him. And I got to be honest with y'all, I'm on Team William here. Harry has spoken about his use of psychedelics for his, quote, professional therapy. And it wasn't until he went to a different alternative therapist that it's helped him become the man he is today. I don't know if that's really helping you, son. It's a little scary. Now he says he hopes one day the heir to the throne will embrace therapy after the traumatic experiences they shared as children. Now here's another thing that he said. He's like, this is not about trying to collapse the monarchy. This is about trying to save them from themselves. Oh my God. And I know that I will get crucified by numerous people for saying that. Harry also suggested that reform was needed in the royal family. If only 10% of the scrutiny that was put on me and M was put on this institution, we wouldn't be in this mess right now. It's so dirty. It's so dark. And it will continue and it will carry on, and I look forward to the day we are no longer a part of it. But I worry about who's next. Well, first of all, son, you ain't a part of it. You left almost 3 years ago, but you still have your titles. You're still a part of the institution because you and your wife refuse to let go of your privileged connection to the royals. If you're so hurt by the institution and the monarchy, you could have dropped your titles at the door and hand back your inheritance. You know, that huge inheritance you got from your mummy and your grandma and your great-grandma? Well, if you're so affected by the monarchy, leave it at the door, son. Donate it to charity. So it's just funny how they think everyone needs to apologize to them, and then people who have apologized, they're unforgiven. It's not good enough. Like poor little Thomas Markle and Jeremy Clarkson. I really hope the royal family is listening to what he is saying, that there is no compromising with these two, unless you're willing to have him come in and reform the monarchy according to how Harry and Meghan think it should be. This is very sad how delusional both of them have become. You know, the royal family has probably realized now that you just can't trust them. It's like the old saying with the scorpion and the frog, where the frog saves the scorpion and he puts the scorpion on his back and they go across the seas, and the frog delivers the scorpion to safety, and the scorpion turns around and stings the frog, and the frog says, "Why did you forsake me, my friend? I just saved you." And the scorpion says, "Because I'm a scorpion and that's what I do." Meghan and Harry are scorpions. They're always going to sting you. You cannot get in bed with a scorpion. It's delusional. He is so delusional and far gone that they come from a world of unaccountability. They come from a world of being victims that you just need to go no contact. So I hope the royal family would take this into account, that there is absolutely no reconciliation or truce that can be worked out with Harry and Meghan. And as long as Harry is with Meghan, it's never going to work unless they plan to fully concede, get on their knees and grovel and reform the monarchy according to Harry and Meghan. They need to go cold turkey, no contact, until Harry and Meghan are ready to apologize and realize what they have done to the royal family, instead of saying we're blameless victims and you need to apologize to us. So what do you guys think about the new stories that are coming out about Harry demanding an apology from the royal family, and how him and Meghan have chosen not to accept apologies from Jeremy Clarkson and poor little Thomas Markle? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.